great week, and so today I will be going through the previous lessons. This is the continuation. So to start off with, first of all, when we want to talk about how you get your voice ready. So now the previous lesson I was telling you about the stuffs of the difference of pop and how opera works. So in this lesson I'll be telling you how you keep your voice kind of ready. So number one is your sitting posture. Now, some of them might be like, what's so important about your sitting? What's so important of how you stand? Well, they matter. So if you're someone who slouches, basically, if I were to slouch like this, okay, I wouldn't be able to sing properly. Now, the reasoning for that is because when you slouch, you aren't letting your lungs take enough air for you to sing properly. So if I were to sit straight, my lungs would get the proper amount of oxygen in them. And that's important because you need oxygen when you're singing. You need to be able to take those long notes. In opera, there's lots of notes that needs to go really long. So that's number one. It's the reason you should always keep your back straight, and doesn't need to be too straight because that kind of also tends to make your lungs go kind of like, okay, this is too straight. So it has to be a proper sitting position. Second of all, as I said, there are some spices that are not good for your voice and also that's good for your voice. So there are some herbs. That's the turmeric. That's really good for your voice. It just clears all the bacteria in your voice. It feels really good. And then second, you will notice a lot of people, not just singers, news reporters, and all those kind of people like broadcasters. They will be doing all this because their voice has to be good. So what you do is you have to take water and warm water, lukewarm water, and you're gonna mix it a bit with honey because honey is it's very sweet. It's also it tastes good, and it also is very good for your voice, along with just a little bit of lemon, though not too much because a lot of lemon tends to absorb the moisture in your voice, which isn't really good. That's number one. It's also good to have on a daily basis because it keeps your voice good. And also water. Water is by all means very, very important. You have to keep your voice moistured. So anywhere you are with humid, that's good. That's really good for your voice. And then another thing I also would like to say mainly on is ginger. Ginger, this isn't I honestly recommend that you should you can have it alternate days because too much of because you already have the lemons and the honey, so too much of all of it is not good. But ginger tends to kind of freshen your voice. I recommend making it from home. You tend to get it from outside, but they tend to put a little chemical in there which isn't really good for you. So you can use it at your home by just squeezing the ginger. That's good as well. That's that. Next, I would like to talk to you about your voice. So as I said before, there are some exercises that warm up your voice, that is very, 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 very important. Number two, this is kind of what you want to do when you wake up in the morning and you want to feel your voice open, especially if you're a soprano. You want to open your voice, make more space. So what you're going to do is there's a specific exercise that kind of makes your voice very smooth, very clean, very sweet, that kind of a tone. So your thing that you're gonna do is it's gonna start off Now, what I just did right now, it's breathy. So you can hear that if you were put your hand like this, if you do your hand like this and you sing it, you can feel air coming on your hand. Okay, this is very important. So obviously this is how everyone sings. Like that. So what I want you to do now is imagine, this is, like I said, your mind and singing is very crucial. Your mind is crucial in this. You want to imagine you're taking a straw in a drink. Let's say you're putting it in Coke. And when you put your hand in the straw, you're kind of taking your breath in. So it's going to be you're doing that. So I want you to think the same way when you're doing this. So when I do, this is me doing with breath, and this is me doing without the breath. Do you guys see the difference? The difference is when I kind of when you take your breath in, you want to make that noise. So you're going to feel it on the back of your neck over here. You're going to feel like this, it's going to feel different. When you do, you're going to feel your neck vibrate, which is good. This kind of like tends to open your vocals a lot. And now, so that's point number 1. I hope you guys remember that's very important as well. And doing this on a daily basis can like open your voice a lot. Helps you do kind of like the really hard kind of notes or the lowest notes. These are very good, especially if you're a bass singer and you have problems doing high, this can help. And if you're a high singer like a soprano, you're gonna have trouble doing low. It's always like that. So we're gonna start off with the bass singers. For them, high is a bit of a challenge. So what we do is, say if I was a person who's not very experienced in this field, okay, and I was asked to do a high pitch, I'm gonna strain because I'm not a high pitch singer, so I'm gonna be doing a kind of note that will hit that note, but it's almost gonna sound like it's too strained. It's like as if you're trying so hard, which isn't really that attractive to people. So I'm gonna show an example of how this happens. So if I was to take a tune, it would be like, so that is a high note for a bass singer, okay? So I'm not gonna do it how a normal person would do it, so it's gonna sound like, now I'm gonna show you a trick that's crucial when you're a bass singer. So when you're doing high, you wanna think, when you're doing high, you want to think low. What I mean by that is sometimes people's action tends to help them collaborate with their mind. So some people, what they like to do is when they're going high, they like to show a physical movement of doing down, it helps a lot. Honestly, when I used to learn, that was really, really helping me a lot. So I'm just gonna do that for you. I'm going to go a high pitch and I'm going to try and do low. I'm going to think low and I'm going to do high. So it's going to sound like this. Do you see that difference? This is stronger and it doesn't sound like strained. It doesn't sound strained. Now, when I'm going to a soprano who's trying to do low, I've noticed a lot of people because so you'll be very surprised that there's more sopranos than bass singers. Bassing, when you're a soprano, you go low, you literally just lose it. So at the end, you just go like, okay, I did the rest so good, and at the end, I'm just gonna like let it go. So the ending always sounds so bad. Like it's just a drop. So I'll show you an example for that. Now this sounds, so the end, that end sounds more like I am. It doesn't go with what I just did. There's an off tune in there. So what I'm gonna do is, you wanna smile when you go low. When you smile, you kind of keep the note in a very good tone. So it doesn't sound off, it sounds really good. So now I did that without smiling. I'm gonna do this with smiling and I'm gonna go very low. So do you see the difference when I don't smile? This is a trick. When you smile, your smile tends to keep the tone in a very up tone, tends to go with what you just did. If you just do, you're kind of basically letting the last note fall, which is not good. It's not good at all. It's important that you keep this smile. And also a crucial thing that I also forgot to mention, for a bass singer when they're going high, or even a soprano who's going high, you have this thing, and I'm so sorry I can't really do it right here, but you have this in your throat, in your mouth. You've got this dangling thing that's very important, that when you go high, you want to make a lot of space in your mouth. You're gonna take your strength, all your strength is gonna be coming from your stomach. because if you take from your chest, you won't get enough. First of all, you're not going to get enough capacity of the volume. You're not going to get that much. But when you take from the stomach, you can take more space. You can make that correct note, and you can deliver it to the correct people, So what we have to do is we're going to take a breath in our stomach, and then we're going to open our mouth. And if you want, you can check. It's always good to like have a mirror in front of you. It helps a lot. You can look at the mirror, and you kind of have to feel, especially when you yawn. When you yawn, the dangling thing, I'm not very sure what it's called, it goes up. When you yawn, it goes up, and that's important. You can just imagine that or try yawning. It goes up, and that gives you more space to make a loud, round, and beautiful note, which is always going to be high. So I'm going to show you an example, and you're going to put your head down. This is just an example. You can put your head down to make that note, and this is just for you to understand. When I'm looking down, I'm making that high pitched because I'm looking down, and I can feel my voice go up. It kind of helps me collaborate with my tone. And I can also feel my the dangling thing in my mouth. I can feel it go up, which is important so I can make that loud, perfect tone. And that's all I will be telling you guys today. In the next lessons, I will be going through a lot of vocal exercises that I will be doing with you for you to understand. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time.